Hello and welcome into See You Next Tuesday. I don't have any guests today. It's just us. I did a Q&A. I love going to Instagram when I don't have anybody on because you guys just ask me questions and I get to answer them. So we're going to do that today, and I'm feeling very fancy because I'm wearing a new sweater that I got from Target. When I say new, I mean that I bought it months ago and it was on my floor somewhere in a hamper somewhere. I don't even know, but I found it today and I was like, okay, turtleneck moment. And then I put in my fancy pearl. When I mean fancy, I mean I also got it at Target. And if you don't know who I am, if this is your first time listening to See You Next Tuesday, I am Katie Thompson. And for those of you who have listened, welcome back and thank you so much for supporting me and for listening. And if you are one of my Patreon patrons, thank you so much. I have a lot of you on there and you come and you give me a little bit of money and you support me and you get more content and you get early content and we talk on there and you can message me and stuff, and I just really want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You help me pay my podcast bills and it means so much to me because this isn't free. So thank you so much. And if you want to be a patron and you're not already, you can find it patreon.com/littlebabykates. And if you're not already, follow me everywhere at littlebabykates, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of it, Snapchat, I'm there. So come on and follow me if you're not already doing it. And I also post these to YouTube. So search for Katie Thompson See You Next Tuesday podcast on YouTube and I will pop up. There's also a redheaded singer named Katie Thompson, so you might get that result as well. That is not me, but yeah. So I digress. Let's go ahead and dive into the questions. Since you won't be seeing your parents for the holidays, will you and your siblings be doing a feast together? Yeah, unfortunately, because of COVID, I won't be flying out to North Carolina for Thanksgiving or for Christmas to see my parents, which is really sad. I actually haven't seen them in a year. I haven't seen them since last Christmas, so... last Christmas, I gave you my heart, then the COVID took it away. Yeah, so I mean, COVID is unfortunate, but better to be safe than sorry and not get on a plane and not bring whatever I get on that plane to North Carolina, so I'm gonna stay home. I will be having feasts with my siblings, and I'm sure that we will Zoom my parents, of course. So it will be weird though, waking up on Christmas alone, because I'm used to waking up in North Carolina, in the house there. So it will be weird. I am gonna go all out for Christmas. I actually put some new lights behind me, which aren't Christmas. They're here to stay. They're pink and purple ombre. That rhymed. But I am gonna decorate all out for Christmas, and I feel like I'm more inclined to do that because I'm not going home and I really want to like feel that Christmas spirit. But I'm already starting, like right now I have a candle, right, that's like a Christmas something candle. And also I should warn you before I even continue on anymore with this show, I am having one of those days where my brain is not working with the words. Like it's all like all the words that I want are on the tip of my tongue. So it's as if I'm not making sense today. So please bear with me along for the ride, shall we? What's your greatest accomplishment? Well, I actually just hit it. It was just recently my 5-year Xanniversary is what I call it. I used to be heavily addicted to Xanax. I took like 9 bars a day in the end of my addiction, and I overdosed on it after trying to wean myself off of it and failing. I took a lot of them and I ended up overdosing. I haven't taken one for 5 years and I'm very proud of myself, and it was very difficult to stop taking it because I have a lot of anxiety and I have OCD. Xanax was just like one of those things that kind of took all of those thoughts away. Not kind of, literally, like it made me feel nothing. It's a great pill if you can handle it. I could not. The bottle said as needed, and bitch, I took that shit as needed. So it wasn't for me, and I'm very proud of myself for not continuing to take it after overdosing on it and needing it so much. I mean, it was so bad there were times when I would look down at my hand and I would see all the pills and think like, I'm never not gonna be able to do this. I had a big calendar that I laid out on my counter. I would take the pills and I would count them out and I would put them on the days so that I knew like when I could take them. I started buying them off the street. It was really bad. I'm probably gonna do like an overdose, like my addiction story type of YouTube video. To be honest, it's a very hard story to tell because it's hard to relive it. It was a really traumatic night, but I do want to share it with you guys. So stay tuned for that once I get the courage to film the video on it. So yeah, that's definitely my greatest accomplishment because one of the hardest things I ever did was not take it anymore. So very proud of myself. 5 years. Woohoo! Do you like infused brownies? Well, you would think I'm reaching for an edible, but I'm reaching for my water. I do like edibles. However, I don't like brownies because, unpopular opinion, I don't like chocolate. And I don't like brownies. So sorry about that. I feel pretty weird about it because everybody loves brownies and everybody loves chocolate. So I always feel bad saying that, but it's my truth. So I'm just gonna come out there and say it. My name is Katie Thompson and I don't like chocolate. I like a chocolate chipless cookie. Like imagine a chocolate chip cookie, take out the chips. Hot damn, that sounds good. I need to make those. And I know what you're thinking. It's a sugar cookie. No, that's all wrong. It isn't. It's, because like a sugar cookie is like white, and like think of like a chocolate chip cookie. They're like that like brown chocolate chip cookie goodness, whatever. If it's a hot chocolate chip cookie, then I'm available. Because then it's like melted and whatever. They have this one at Disneyland. It's like Jack Jack's something or other, I don't know, but that one is really, really good, and it's like all melty and delicious. It still has too many chocolate chips for me, but I still like that one a lot. But I'm not a big chocolate girl, so no, I don't really like chocolate infused brownies because I don't really like brownies. However, I do love edibles and I like eat them all the time. I eat one every day. I like gummies usually because I don't like edibles that are like eating food. Like I just want to like swallow it and be high. So there's these things called Pro Tabs, and I really like those. They're like 25 milligrams and they're like these little pills. And they also have hash tabs from the same company made with cold water hash, and those are also really good. I like those. I also like the Wild brand. They're really, really delicious. And the infused ones, those are a really good price point if you're looking for something that's on the cheaper side. They're not that potent, but they are on more of the cheaper side. And I know that there's more edibles that I've tried. Oh, Smokies. Smokies are so flippin' good. Like some of the best tasting edibles I've ever had. Same with the Wilds. The Wilds are really a treat. And they have indica infused Wilds, which I like. Usually edibles are all hybrid. So I look for indica specific ones because sometimes hybrid edibles can make me a little bit paranoid because sativa stuff can make me paranoid. I've gone on an edible tangent, but long story short, I fucking love edibles, and the more the merrier. Describe your perfect Disney day. Ooh, that's from Amy. Love that question. My perfect Disney day would be I get up, I have a cup of coffee, my makeup goes well, and then I put on all my Disney jewelry, I pack my little Disney fanny pack, I eat my schmedible, and then we go and we eat lunch at Holly Jolly Cafe. That's where we're gonna start. And then after lunch, I'm immediately going to either get, I'm probably gonna get a dessert at Holly Jolly Bakery, to be honest with you. And then I'm probably gonna get a churro or a popcorn immediately after we eat. So then after that, I wanna go get fast passes for stuff. So maybe get fast passes for Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, Indiana Jones if it decides that it doesn't wanna fucking break that day, because I feel like Indiana Jones is always breaking and it's very annoying, but I love Indiana Jones. And anytime I smell like a fire pit, it kind of smells like Indiana Jones, because when the fire comes out, when you're on the bridge, it has that like gas and fire smell. So that's always very comforting. And then I would say after I get or like Haunted Mansion, love a fast pass for Haunted Mansion, because I honestly don't want to wait in that line. I don't like waiting in lines, ironically. I love going to Disneyland because of the memories. I'd be happy going to Disneyland and not writing a thing, but my goal at Disneyland is to do stuff that's not long. So Pooh Ride is always a staple too, so definitely gonna ride the Pooh Ride. So all the rides I'm gonna ride would be Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, Space Mountain, Thunder Mountain, Indiana Jones, Haunted Mansion, the Winnie the Pooh ride, Splash Mountain. At the end of the day though, because I don't like walking around with wet panties, fuck that shit, it makes me want to kill myself. And then I would say also head over to California Adventure, and over there I'm gonna ride, actually I don't care about Soarin' Over the World. I don't like Soarin' Over the World because it's all fake CGI bullshit and it's not real videos. Soarin' Over California, like those were taken, which I'm sure you've heard me rant about that before. But I'm gonna do, so I'm like literally really quickly walking through the park in my head. Monsters Inc., Radiator Springs, I love Cars Land, it's one of my favorite places. The Aerial Ride, I wanna go to Pixar Pier and look at stuff over there. I wanna go, I can't think of any other ride. I mean, I don't really like roller coasters, so I don't like the Screamin', it's not Screamin' anymore, Incredicoaster, because that one has a really fast takeoff and it takes my breath away, and I don't like that one. And then for dinner, I would want either the Plaza, I would get fried chicken with a Coke, because the Plaza has literally the best Coke you've ever had in your entire life. Don't argue. Next time you're there, go to the Plaza, get yourself a Coke, and tell me differently. Something about their soft serve Coke. Soft serve? This is what I mean by my brain is not working today. Soft serve is fucking ice cream. What is the word I'm looking for? Their Soda Stream? Their whatever. The Coke is really fucking good. Or I would want Pizza Planet, the pasta, it's like a white sauce chicken. You guys, this is making me upset. I really want to go. Fuck. Okay. I would get that, and I would get some bread, and I would also get a Coke because it tastes the same as the Plaza, so you could also get one there. I could actually cry thinking about not going to Disneyland, you guys. I miss it so much. I really, really miss it. And I really miss going to it during Halloween and the holidays. So, I mean, Halloween is a holiday, but during Christmas and all of that, I miss it so much. But anyway, that would be most of the stuff that I would do. And I would also eat as much as humanly possible. Like every second that I could buy something to put into my mouth, I will. So don't put it past me, because I absolutely will do that. What's your favorite horror flick? None. I am spooked by scary movies. I don't like them. I don't like them one bit. I don't like torture. I don't like ghosts. I don't like it. I don't like to be uncomfortable. So it makes me very uneasy, and I just don't like horror movies, so I'm gonna skip on that. What's your favorite time of day? Probably when I get in bed. I love laying in bed. I have my little routine. I take a shower, I get in bed, I have my bowls, I play my Animal Crossing, I watch my shows. It's just such a peaceful time of the day. I also really like morning and like drinking coffee. That is very fun. I actually had to stop drinking full caffeinated coffee because it was giving me such bad anxiety. So now I drink half calf Folgers. So now the best part of waking up really is Folgers in my cup. But it's really good, and I can get a bunch of it, and it's pretty cheap. So I'm honestly fine with it. But those are my favorite parts of the day. Who's your favorite Spice Girl? Oh, good question. That question's from Amy. My favorite Spice Girl would probably be Posh. When I was growing up, I always was Ginger. Is that her name? Ginger Spice? Oh my god, I'm having another brain fart. I was all... I can't talk today. Oh my god. Goes to show you, that's what I was trying to say, goes to show you how much I really wanted to be fucking Ginger Spice, but I was her because I have red hair, so go figure. But I always wanted to be Baby Spice. But I would have to say now that watching back, that I would say that Posh is definitely my favorite. She's the funniest, she's the sassiest, and yeah, but I put on Spice Girls all the time. I love Spice Girls. I used to dress up and be them and watch their concert and just, oh my god, I went to their concert when I was little and it was such a big deal. Like, I loved Spice Girls and still do to this day. Coke or ginger ale? Oh my god, Amy, what are you doing to me with these questions? Coke or ginger ale? Coke. I mean, Coke is the best, like, drink, soda I've ever had. I love it so much. But I also really love ginger ale. So that is definitely a hard question, but I have both in my fridge. So, yeah. What's your order at In-N-Out? This is really exposing me and it's very embarrassing. That question is also from Amy. It's a number 2, well done, add onion, no spread, extra well, extra toast, and a large Coke with a Neapolitan shake. And it's like $10.95 or something like that. And I always feel like such an asshole asking for it because it's like, I'll take a yada 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 yada. And I just feel like I'm so rude by asking for it, but I've just had it so many different ways that at this point I know how I like it. And I don't like soggy buns. Who does? So I don't get the spread on it. I love spread. I just put it on when I get home so that my bun is not soggy. You dig? Favorite Christmas memory? That's also from Amy. I mean, honestly, like, all of it. From going and getting into the golf cart and looking at Christmas lights, which, spoiler alert, was just my mom moving the gifts from one place to another because, spoiler alert, they were Santa. Oh, whoopsie, didn't know. I'll never forget the day that I found out that Santa wasn't real. That was a devastating day. I mean, believing in Santa was a really fun time, but boy, is it life-ruining when you find out that that motherfucker isn't real. I mean, who decided, you know what we should do? We should lie to the kids that there's a magical man running around here to get them to behave, and we'll give them gifts and say it's from him, when really it's from us, and shatter their lives between the ages of 9 and 12. Like, who decided that? It's so rude, but very magical. So I like that I had that experience, but it's really rude. And then also just like waking up on Christmas morning was really magical, and like going downstairs and having pancakes and eggs and sausage balls and opening presents, and just the whole thing was very magical, always. And my mom really always went out of her way to decorate the whole house, and with garland and lights and figurines and little statues and the little scenes that you can set up with the fake snow and the little people and the carolers, and we had 2 different Christmas trees, and I mean, it was just the best. And anytime now that I get to spend with all my family together on Christmas is just the best. So that would be my favorite, just being with y'all. Where is the most unusual, weird, exciting place that you've had sex? I would definitely say it was on a Ferris wheel. That was definitely, it wasn't sex, but I gave a little bit of a blowjob on a Ferris wheel, and it was very risky, but I got away with it. And I would say that that was definitely one of the riskiest places that I've done something scandalous. Just wanted to say, have a great week. Thanks. You do the same. A week in the life of Katie Thompson. 4:20 all day long. smoke weed every day. No, but also, yeah, so that. Just imagine that. Have you ever been so far as to even pretend you want to go do more like? What? Have you ever been so far as to even pretend you want to go do more like? With a laughing emoji. I have no idea what that means. Have you ever been? I don't know. I'm gonna skip that one. What's your favorite memory about Disneyland? Definitely staying in the Dream Suite above Pirates of the Caribbean, which was a suite that Walt built for himself to live in that he never got to live in because he unfortunately died before he got to live in it. But it was during the 50th Disney anniversary, and this was when Mark and Brian were still on the air, when my dad was still on the air. And which congratulations to them for getting inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame. It's fucking awesome. It is amazing. I'm so fucking proud of you, Dad. But they were doing a giveaway to a family where they got to sleep in the Haunted Mansion overnight during the 50th celebration, and they offered us to stay into the Dream Suite. So we got to stay in the Dream Suite, and it was one of the most magical nights ever. There was like a staff, and they like got you anything you needed, and we got to tour the park in bathrobes at 1 a.m. and it was just one of the most magical nights that ever exists. So that would have to be my favorite Disneyland memory. Have you been cooking / baking lately? I mean, honestly, the most that I cook is I'll take the bag of frozen Alfredo from Trader Joe's out of the freezer and I'll put it into the pan. I made some sweet potato fries earlier that were frozen. So no, I don't do a ton of cooking. I do bake. I made some cupcakes like a few weeks ago. I might make some cupcakes later. And yeah, so I mean, no, not really, honestly. Sorry about that. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay? I've never tried it. Maybe I should, but I have never tried it, so I will give it a try. One of the weirdest things though that I've tried that I liked is get vanilla ice cream, put popcorn on top of it, dig in. It's really fucking good. How many vibrators do you own? Oh, I have tons of them, like 10, but I really only use one. And it's like one of those like little bullets. I would say it's like this big, and it has like a cord and a little remote control. I personally don't like the whole dildo situation. I like an outside clitoral situation. But for me, that is my favorite vibrator. It's 420 where I am right now. Happy 420, yeah, yeah. Which vibrator is your go-to? Oh, I just answered that one. But yeah, like just a little bullet for me. First ride you'll go on when Disneyland opens back up. Like I said before, probably Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. It's definitely one of my, I will cry when I go back into that park. I will sob. I will definitely be going into Buena Vista Street when they open it in November, because they're opening up Buena Vista Street in California Adventure for shopping and Carthay Circle for small bites, and I hope like they have like a churro cart and popcorn. Dear God, if anyone that works there is listening, please make sure that happens. I'll start screaming now. Sorry about that, but I'm very passionate about that. What's your favorite ice cream when smoking? Cookies and cream. But I also always have vanilla in the fridge because there's just nothing like a classic scoop of vanilla sometimes. You know? It's just so good. How do you tell your man he sucks at going down on you? Okay. Don't tell him he sucks at going down on you. Give him tips, and if needed, demonstrate like on his hand what you want him to do with your tongue, or like on his fingertip, like tell him like your clit is the fingertip and just like show him what you want him to do with it. Like tell him like if you like to be fingered while you get eaten out. Like it's all about communication and like being honest, and if you set that at the beginning of like, we can both tell each other what we want and what works and what doesn't, that's the best thing to do, because then there's that openness of just like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, and then there's nobody's feeling bad about it, because just because I don't like something maybe you don't like that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just that that's not my preference. So I would say that just give him tips on how, like, what you like and how it would be better for you. And just tell him to do a little bit more research, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with telling your partner that you're not enjoying it, or like that you want more, or this and that. Like, never be afraid to voice what you want during sex. How do you cut off a long-term friendship that isn't adding any value to your life anymore? Unfortunately, I just did this. I would say that you have to, like, really be done. It's kind of like ending things with a boyfriend. You kind of like just really need to know that you're like for sure done, and to kind of just end it. Just tell them like, this isn't working out for me anymore. I'm not getting from this what I used to. I mean, that's like if you haven't tried to maybe fix it. Like, I tried to fix my friendship for a bit, but it just didn't work out in the end. So we just parted ways, and like, I'm really sad about it, but I'm always thankful for the time that I've had with people, whether it be an ex-boyfriend or somebody that it just didn't work out with friendship-wise. I'm always like thankful for like the time that I had with them, or like what they brought into my life. But it's always really sad, and it's hard because even with friendships, it's just like a regular breakup where like, you had that person to go to, you had that person to send stuff to, or like, you know, they were just like really integrated in your life. But after a while, like, if, you know, if they're toxic, or if like they're not there for you, or if you're not getting what you need out of it, like, voice that. And if they don't give you that, then, you know, it's time to move on, because you can't keep space for anything in your life that's causing you any kind of distress, because it's just going to add more stress to your life. And like, life's too short. You don't need that. Cut out the toxic people from your life. Like, it's very difficult to do, and sometimes you don't even realize that they're toxic, but oof, it feels so good when you do, because I can't tell you how happy I am that now, like, I just like, I don't have that toxicity in my life anymore. And it's just a lot easier when you find friends who genuinely care about you and for your well-being. So they're out there. It is very difficult to make friends though, like as an adult. Like, it's weird. Like, what do I do? Like, see a girl in a coffee shop that I think I'd be friends with and like sit down and be like, you want to be friends? Like, it is very strange. Usually it happens at work or what have you, but you know. Is it normal that no guy can make me come? Yeah, that is normal. It can be hard. It's hard for me to come without my vibrator. If I have my vibrator going during sex, I know that I'll come. But other than that, it's kind of a crapshoot, and I'm usually not going to come if I don't have it. I would say though, really get to know your body and what works for you, whether it's with somebody or with yourself or with a dildo or with a vibrator, but really get to know what works for you, and then it'll be easier for you to come with somebody else once you know like your formula, and just like get them involved. That would be my advice for that. Eating out is also a really good tool for that. The whole eating out and fingering combination with like the fingers going in. On YouTube, I'll try to describe it. Fingers like you're smoking a cigarette, but your fingers are closed. You go in and then you do like the come here motion. That is really great while eating out. And eating out is not all about just like tonguing it all over the place and getting as much saliva everywhere as possible. It's about like stimulating the clitoris, you know, really finding out what they like. Do they like it when you go faster? Do they like it when you go slower? Like, ask your partner these questions, because them coming is as important as guys coming. Like, let's all come together, you know? Okay. Come together. What do you do if your man wants a threesome but you're not down? You simply don't have a threesome. If you don't want to have a threesome, if you don't want to share your man, or if you're not bisexual or what have you, don't do it. Don't do anything that you don't want to do. And if he's trying to persuade you or to force you into doing it, that's rape culture, and that's not okay. Don't ever do anything that you don't want to do. So you can say no to fucking anything. So you can say no. So that would be my advice on that. I do nothing I don't want to do. Why is the idea of sex more exciting than actual sex sometimes? Well, I think that it's about the, like, intimacy with a person. And if the sex you're having isn't exciting, you might want to introduce new things that you haven't tried, like toys or, you know, paddles or handcuffs or blindfolds. Like, you can introduce something like that into it. Or if it's like you're fantasizing and you have things that you want to try but you never had that you're embarrassed to ask, like, don't be embarrassed to ask. I've had partners that have laughed or that have, like, somewhat shamed me for stuff, but, like, who cares? Like, I don't care. Like, if you don't want to do that, fine, whatever, but don't make me feel bad about it. That's where we've got a fucking problem. Like, I had a guy, and I once, like, I wanted him to eat my ass, but he didn't do it. And I was like, I don't want to just, like, bring this up over eating pizza. Like, hey, would you eat my ass? So one day I said, I was like, I miss getting my asshole waxed. Because this was during COVID. And he was like, oh, that's TMI. And I was like, okay, well, if me getting my asshole waxed is TMI, this fool is never gonna eat my asshole. And he never did. But yeah, so, like, don't shame people when they want something. But to be fair, I never asked him. But I figured from that he definitely wasn't gonna do that. For me, the idea of sex right now is really exciting because I haven't had sex in 6 months. So I'm gonna die. What do I do if I really like a guy but the sex is horrible? Like I've been saying this entire time, communication is key. Talk to your partner. What do you want to do in it that will make it not horrible? And also, you can kind of, like, teach a guy too. Show him some videos that you like. If he's doing the jackhammer thing, tell him to go slower. Get on top and, like, you know, feel your body out. And I was actually talking to my friend earlier today, and she was telling me that girls don't like to get on top because they, like, don't like the angle. Now, listen, if they're inside you, they don't get to complain about any angle. We all have bad angles. I have a double chin sometimes. I have a double chin all the time, let's be real. But, like, I don't care. I'm gonna get on top. Even if I'm in a new phase, you guys. We are loving ourselves. No more fat jokes. No more self-deprecating jokes. We love our bodies. Who cares if you got a little extra here and there? Who cares? If you're sleeping with somebody who has a problem with the way that your body looks, they have a problem. Your body is normal, and no matter what size it is. So don't listen to anybody that has an opinion about the way that you look. And if you feel that way about yourself, take your clothes off, look at yourself in the mirror every day. I touch my stomach, which I don't really like all the time, and I tell it I love it every day. So you just gotta, like, love and, like, accept yourself. And life gets so much easier when you don't really, like, care if you have a little extra here and there. Like, if working out and doing that, like, really makes you feel great and, like, that's what you do, great. But if it's COVID and you've gained a little bit of weight and you feel bad about yourself, don't. We're all in the same boat. Don't ever feel bad because you, like, gain a little bit of weight or what have you. Just, like, accept yourself and love yourself because that's the best thing that you can do. Rant over. I don't even know what the question was. Y'all got me out here ranting. Is it normal to think about somebody else like an ex when having sex? Yeah, of course it is. Do I think about George Clooney and Leonardo DiCaprio sometimes when I'm riding that D? Fuck yeah, I do. Even an ex. I've definitely thought of an ex before. I would say that maybe you should try and get over that before you have sex again, because you might, if you're thinking about an ex when having sex, you might, like there might still be like some residual feelings, something to work through. And I know it's say like the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody new, but sometimes like you're just not ready for that and like you need to heal. It's normal to think about other people during sex, but also open your eyes, look at your partner, you know, look at the different things that you like about them, get excited about them in bed. How many Baymax do you own and which Baymax is your favorite Baymax? Okay, so I don't know if y'all know this, but I fucking love Baymax from Big Hero 6. He is a personal healthcare companion, and I've always said that like I love him because he scans you and he can see the different things that you need. And I think that that is so sweet that like he could scan me and be like, you need this because you have anxiety, or you need this because you're having an OCD, you know, fit. So I just would love to own a Baymax. So I have literally every stuffed animal Baymax that Disney has ever made. And I have like a really big Baymax that's like as big as my head all the way down to my torso. He's so big and I love him so much, and he hangs out in the bed with me and he's really big, and that's my favorite Baymax for sure. I would go get it, but I don't want to get up. As I've got some lights set up and stuff, so you know, things are a little rough. Would you ever go on a date with a fan? If so, how does one apply asking for a friend? I actually get this question a lot, and as flattered as I am, no, I don't date listeners. I don't mix work with pleasure. I love y'all's support, and I thank you for wanting to date me, because that's nice, because nobody else does. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so no, I'm sorry. That's my very honest answer to that. And this next one is, would you go out with me? And I think that that last question, or that last answer, answers your questions. I can't believe I've rambled on for 42 minutes. I want to thank you guys for listening to my show and supporting me. I know that times are hard right now with COVID. I'm so happy about this election. I can't believe that we actually voted him out. I'm so happy. I'm sorry, no, I can believe that we voted him out. I was nervous though, and everything worked out fine. I'm so happy he's not going to be in office anymore, and man, it's a sigh of relief. Just the biggest sigh, the biggest sigh. It's just the best. Thank you so much for answering my little thing of ask me any kind of question you want. I answered all the questions, and if you have any more questions, feel free to send me a DM. Go to my website, katiethompson.la. Like I said, everywhere, follow me everywhere at Little Baby Kates. If you want to be on my Patreon, it's patreon.com/littlebabykates. And you know what I think I'm gonna do? I think I'm gonna see you again next Tuesday. Go out, be the best person you can be, and suck as much dick as you possibly can. Bye, y'all.